All right, let's go. So, welcome to another episode of eCom Reality, where we talk all things e-commerce, Shopify, Meta Ads, Google Ads, email marketing, CRO. So, let's sit down and go over a breakdown of affiliate world, which I didn't really honestly attend. Let me show you the badge here real quick. So, we had the usual badge, nothing special. Didn't even spend too much time there. So, let's just sit down and talk about it because these events are definitely super helpful all the time. Let's see, let's see it like this. So, Affiliate World, one of the only events that are held 3 times a year, right? So it is one of the bigger events held in Dubai, when I think I also made a video. Then this one in Budapest, and then the third one in Asia, in Bangkok, which I might go because Affiliate World, just to recap it. So let me go and take the badge. So the thing with it is that there are not so many eCom or Meta there are, but there are not as many eCom people, which is not great because I would say eCom and brand owners in eCom are some of the best people you can actually hang around because they have a long-term mentality. They know it takes time, and that's to some extent the exact opposite of affiliates, which think about fast money. And that's why sometimes, let's see, does it track the face? Yeah, it tracks. So that's why sometimes it doesn't really work in case you are the type of person who thinks long term, who wants very long partnerships and so on. But to recap, so today is Saturday, basically most events finished, and there were 3 days, I would say, where something has happened. So it's usually Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thursday and Friday, it was the actual event. Personally, I did go to the first day on the 4th, and I did listen to 2 talks from 2 people I actually know. Those were great, I would say. Then also met a couple of people there, but as you can imagine, during a 5 hour or 6 hour time window between like 11 to 5, how many conversations can you actually have, right? Unless you just want to have a 10-minute one, which doesn't go anywhere, right? It's just the chit chat. That's why it's actually important to have that initial chit chat for 5 minutes or so, then go into, let's say, the next step, like 10 minutes. And then, if possible, going to the 20-30 minute mark, because that's where you actually build a good connection in most cases. It doesn't mean you can't in a faster time, because I'm probably not the best at this anyway, and I'm not at networking. But I'm looking also for people who are in this for the long run, meaning that they're not here to make a quick buck, or they're just here for a role they're not even enjoying, right? Because there are some employees, there are some business owners, there are some affiliates, a lot of different people. And let's just move this a little bit down so we can see each other better. So besides that, on Friday, I actually went for almost 1 hour, and that was it. Just because on the main stage, I think one person didn't show up, or I'm not sure what happened. So when I saw that, it's kind of wasting my time and not really offering much in terms of either speakers and or, let's say, people around there. Because to be honest here, it seems like most of the people who are doing better numbers or in general are not beginners, right? Don't even come to the event. And for example, I did meet with someone who didn't even have a ticket. They just flew in, and because they wanted to actually attend Affiliate World just to see how it is around, they basically took someone else's badge, right? Like that person actually went out, they gave this person the badge, and then they could enter for I think maybe 2 hours, and even that is too much, honestly, because like I said, in most cases this is actually probably a good place to be in if you're a beginner, because you make some connections, you start to want to think bigger and so on. But after all, whenever you'll work on something important, you'll probably do it with just a few people, right? So the fact that here you have so many, it doesn't really help, because with 99% you don't have any business. So that's where it's not as helpful. However, so Affiliate World on Thursday, Friday, but besides that, there were some great side events. Probably I should have attended more, but I went to two. So on Wednesday, Affiliate Takeover, which was pretty good because fewer people, higher quality of people, and I actually met some guys for the first time, some guys who I've seen around at other events, either like in Dubai or just online. And we did connect, which is great, because that's what you want. You want to make a few connections every time and not just like go and not meet anyone, right? That would be a waste of time. And basically, I can say that I met at least, I would say 4 to 5 people during that event. Great people. And then on Thursday, so that was on the first day of the event of Affiliate World. So I didn't go to the after party of Affiliate World because I know it's just a lot of people. And it's a low success rate, right, of actually meeting someone who might be the right person for you in most cases, or for me. And on Thursday, the event was, I'm trying to see if I had it anywhere here. So it's called eCom Billionaires event, and the actual group that I think actually sponsored it is Ad Revival, right? So they are the guys that offer you ad accounts, right? You can just understand from the name, Ad Revival. And the thing is that they always host great events. They already have good network. So that's actually probably one of the best that you can go to if you are in eCom. And I just met, I mean, you could say randomly, because I didn't like search very hard or so on, but I just sat down with someone and they were making, I think, 3 million a month or so. I'm trying to remember if that was the number, probably 2 to 3 million. And usually this is not even their best months, you know, so high numbers, and they are looking for an exit of like 50 million or more, right? So these are the numbers that you get to see when you get into the right groups. And connections are definitely important, because at that event, the eCom Billionaire group or Ad Revival event, depends how you want to call it, that's where I did meet again people from other events. So, I mean, it's a small world. Since the event was under 100 people, or actually 100 was the capacity, and maybe if one didn't come, it's already 99, right? So under 100. And the thing is that I did meet someone who I actually met before. Not sure if in Barcelona. I think in Barcelona for Affiliate Takeover, to be honest. And I met this person again. And the thing is that he actually has a friend with a brand in Sweden, and they need help with the paid media side. And interestingly enough, they are, for example, willing to pay a fee that, for example, for my agency, it's on the higher side, right? But at the same time, for them, it would be one of the best deals ever, because they only work with agencies that actually charge them, invoice them way more. And that was because of the deal structure. Because if you have a 10% type of deal, and I'm not sure if I've talked about this much or if I made a specific video about this, but charging percent of ad spend is not ideal, just because over time, you're not incentivized to do the right thing. You're incentivized to spend more, and that doesn't really matter for the brand if they don't make more, right? And even this guy that I was talking with, he got charged 50K from his Meta ads agency at one point. And yeah, 50K, like someone's yearly salary, let's say, right? Or for 2 years if you're from Asia and so on. So the thing is that it's definitely important to be around these groups, make connections, and also just be in the environment. Because when you hear these numbers, right, you start believing it's possible. And that's why first, as a beginner, you probably need to go to events like Affiliate World, maybe let's say even Affiliate Takeover and other events, just to get from level 0 or 1 to like a 2, a 3. But then if you want to go from a level 2, 3 to a 10 and above, then of course that's when you need to go to this type of events where people are doing big numbers. They also have an abundance mindset, right? Like going through all of the personal development stuff and so on, because eventually you see patterns in terms of who is successful, who's not, and why they are or they aren't. Because it's usually about actually working and realizing what good work looks like. Because you can just work 8 hours a day and do nothing, or work 1 hour a day and because you focused on the right thing, actually have great results, right? Because this is what I've seen in myself as well. Over time, you just start to see what is a higher value activity or task, and you realize what's a waste of time, right? Like spending time in Canva, usually waste of time. Spending time in Sheets could be a waste of time unless it's something that's repeatable. For example, I look daily at some ad numbers in terms of revenue, ad spend, so on, right? So it takes like 20 seconds, 40 seconds, and that's just like a pulse check, right? And that's super helpful. So to recap this, because we're getting to 12 or 13 minutes here, so to recap, I would say it's always helpful when you actually go to these events, because you also travel, so you see new things around, you probably eat new things, drink new things, get a little bit out of your routine, but then of course you have to come home and be locked in 80%, 90% of the time, because after all, you just move faster. It's not that bad if you go at like 50%, right? But you should be aware that you're just like slowing yourself down, and usually the more effort and results you have earlier, the easier life becomes, right? Because as you can see, for example, at this event, I met someone who might introduce me to someone else who needs some additional help on the paid media side, and I'm sure that I will do a better job just because I already have a mutual, right? So basically, I'm also accountable of not having a bad service experience, right? So I will probably work harder just because I was introed from someone I know, right? So I also don't want to let them down. And sometimes that's why it's important to think ahead of time, like who do you want to work with? Do you want to just have like transactional relationships, or do you actually want to have friends who basically just offer you opportunities as well, and you can also help them as much as possible with whatever you can, right? You can just think, all right, what can I help this person with? And then try to make intros, give ideas, and so on, right? So yeah, just being there. I mean, as strange as it sounds, sometimes it's just about like being normal, a good person, and that's when good things start to happen, right? I mean, it's actually a sequence if we wanted to think about it, right? You give something, you receive something. The more you give, the more likely you are to receive. It's just like planting seeds, right? So not going deep into that, like the tactical and so on. So it's more so just about what to do, and going to this type of events is definitely helpful because you also meet new people. Sometimes you realize who you don't want to meet, and that's also helpful, because the more you do things that are also wasteful, you know not to repeat them anymore, right? So that's probably guys like Elon Musk are at that level, because they've done so many things every day for like 10 years that they know what's a waste of time, what should be done, and that's how you become more efficient. So with that being said, I think that's pretty much everything for this one. Getting closer to the camera here to press the turn off button or whatever it's called. So that's pretty much it. And if you found it useful, you can leave a like, comment, all of that. And until next time, peace out.